So as we're going through the second chapter of Nedarim, we're just reminding ourselves about differences between vows and oaths, a neder and a shavua, and we're reminding ourselves at the same time about language for Nedarim that doesn't work. And in a second, we'll see some language which the Mishnah seems to say doesn't work, although we are going to be puzzled by it because this language is identical to language which the Mishnah previously said does work. So we're going to be puzzled. But before we jump in there, let's go back. Let's look at this table of differences between a neder and a shavua, a vow and an oath, which we put up on the source sheet. And we said that a neder, a vow, prohibits an object from a person. So, for example, this loaf of bread is prohibited to me, whereas a shavua prohibits an action. I am prohibited, I swear I won't eat the loaf of bread. And along the same lines, the neder, the vow, can prohibit a mitzvah object. So, for example, I'm prohibited from picking up that lulav. But we can't make an oath, a shavua, to prohibit oneself from carrying out a mitzvah. We can't say, I swear I won't pick up a lulav, because picking up a lulav, at least if you're a man, is a mitzvah which you have to do. And finally, and we're going to see this in the next couple of Mishnayot, a vow, a neder, which is on an object, remember, can be made twice. We can vow twice on the same object, as if the object is replicable, and we're liable for both, by the way, if we break it. But a shavua, an oath, which essentially prohibits a person from an action, an oath can only be made once. So let's see how this plays out. But on our way in the second Mishnah, we're gonna see a Mishnah which honestly is very puzzling. And it's not really resolved by any of the commentators or by the Gemara. I think the Gemara tries to restate, tries to amend the Mishnah, but I can't quite figure out how it's amending it. But let's just have a look at the Mishnah. Korban lo ochala, ve korban she'ochala, and korban lo ochala mutar. If I swear korban that I don't eat of yours, and we've already said that the classic form of a neder is that you say this object is like a korban, like a sacrifice, i.e., it has to be given to the temple. Eating it is equivalent to taking possession of temple property. We can't touch it. So korban that I don't eat of yours, korban that I eat of yours, not korban that I don't eat of yours. This is a double negative. And the Mishnah rules mutar. It's permitted, i.e., it doesn't bind. And this is very odd, because in the first chapter, and let's just look at the first chapter now, we learned exactly the same language. Ha-korban, ke-korban, korban she'ochalach, asur. The korban, like a korban that I eat of yours, that is asur, it's forbidden, i.e. that the oath binds. And the commentators can't quite understand why, if it's in the first chapter it binds, in the second chapter it doesn't seem to bind. We're puzzled, and I didn't find a good explanation for it. I can't explain this. So, with apologies, I'm just going to note that we cannot explain it, and just let's keep moving, because we're now going to compare exactly the same language, korban, which is the language of the vow, to a shavua, the language of a vow. And we'll see that this language seems to work for a shavua, even though it doesn't work for a neder. Or at least in this chapter, it doesn't work for a neder. Shavua le'ochala, an oath that I don't eat of yours. Shavua she'ochala, an oath if I eat of yours. Lo shavua, lo ochala. This is a double negative again, not an oath that I do not eat of yours. Some commentators say the double negative works. And the Mishnah rules forbidden, asur. We already learned that when the Mishnah says forbidden, it means that the vow works. If you like, the vow forbids. So this language seems to work. And the Mishnah goes on to say, Zeh chomer, bishwa mi ba nedarim. In this instances, this is chomer, this is heaviness, this is seriousness in oaths, which we don't find in vows. The oaths somehow seem to be more stringent. But it doesn't always work that way. It can be the other way round. The neder can be more stringent. V'chomer ba nedarim mi ba shvuot keitzad. Actually, there can be greater stringency in vows than in oaths. Keitzad, how does it work? Amar, kunam sukkah she'ani oseh. He says, kunam. Remember, kunam we learned is an abbreviation for korban. Maybe the rabbis didn't like the use of temple language, and they mandated a sort of nickname. Kunam sukkah sheni oseh. Kunam is the sukkah that I make, i.e., the sukkah that I make is forbidden to me. Lulav sheni notel, the lulav that I take. Tefillin sheni noten, the tefillin that I put on. In other words, I'm going to make all of these forbidden to myself. Be nedarim asur. They're absolutely forbidden in nedarim. Uvi shvot mutar, but as oaths they are not. And the Mishnah will give an explanation now. She'ein nishba'in la'avor al hamitzvot. You can't swear to break a mitzvah. You can swear not to touch a mitzvah object, but you cannot swear to transgress a mitzvah. So in some ways, vows can be more stringent. And we're going to learn another way in which vows are more stringent. Yesh neder b'toch neder. You can have a vow within a vow. What is this? It's a double vow. We'll see what this works like in a minute. Yesh neder b'toch neder. There's a vow within a vow. V'ein shivua b'toch shivua. But there isn't an oath within an oath. So just as a neder can apply to, is more stringent because it can apply to a mitzvah object, a neder seems to be more stringent because it can be done twice. And an oath, a shivua, cannot be done twice. So the Mishnah now, and we've seen this style before actually elsewhere in the tractate, the Mishnah sometimes likes to articulate a principle and then ask Keitzad, how does it work? So now we're going to have some examples. And we'll see that this vow within the vow is actually just a repetition. The Mishnah brings it 3 times. Amar, Hare ani nazir im ochal. He said, behold, I will be a nazir if I eat. That means if I eat something. And then we're going to repeat this twice. Hare ani nazir im ochal. Hare ani nazir im ochal. I'm going to make this vow 3 times. Ve'achal. And he ate it. He made this vow 3 times and then he ate it. I mean, what kind of person is this? He's a bit crazy. We've already said, by the way, the rabbis do not like vows. And you can see, just reading this kind of language, why they don't like vows. This guy's really, really crazy. So he ate it. Chayav al kol achat v'achat. He's liable for each and every one. When you make a general vow of Nazirut, to being a Nazir, it only applies for 30 days. But in this case, this guy has to be a Nazir for 90 days because he has to fulfill 3 times. He has to fulfill his oath, his vow 3 times for the once that he ate. He made the vow 3 times, he's liable. And it doesn't work like that for a shavua. Maybe because a shavua applies on a person. A person can't be multiplied, whereas an object can be multiplied. So let's try it with shavua. Shavua shelo ochal, shavua shelo ochal, shavua shelo ochal. 3 times again. I swear I will not eat. I swear I will not eat. I swear I will not eat. It sounds like someone on a diet. Ve'achal. And he ate. Eino chayav ela achat. He's only liable for, he's going to have to bring a chatat. He's going to have to bring an offering. But in this case, he's only liable for 1 because the oath only takes effect once, however many times you say it.